Are you a fresh graduate? Do you want to fulfill your educational aspiration by pursuing higher education in various interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary areas like environmental science, environment and occupational health, philosophy, sustainability science, folklore and culture studies? If yes, the School of Interdisciplinary and Transdisciplinary Studies offers various programs like Master's Program, Graduate Program, Postgraduate Diploma, Certificate and Appreciation Program. The school offers 5 Master's.
Hello learners, welcome to this session. In the earlier 15 sessions, we had seen the concepts of data warehousing, part of MCS 221, data warehousing and data mining. So 2 blocks we had covered under 15 session, and this is a 16th session, and the topic to be covered today is Introduction to Data Mining. And this particular session is based upon Unit 7 of Block 3 MCS 221, data warehousing and data mining. So in the data warehousing, we had seen several concepts like what is data warehousing, how it is being organized, what are the various types of data warehouses, and other things. So whenever we warehouse the data, that is the historical databases, whenever we warehouse in the data repositories called as the data warehouses, so there will be a kind of usage also from that particular data repository. So today we will focus on how that particular data warehouse data can be used in order to see a very good patterns or else a very good predictions so that it can be benefiting our organizations. So data mining, as you can see, as per the dictionary, this is a process used by companies to turn raw data into useful information. So this is the basic definition that we can give for the data mining. So this particular data mining was coined in 1994, this particular buzzword, in the first international conference on knowledge discovery and data mining. This conference was held in Montreal. So this particular term was coined in that particular conference. So data mining, the other name is there called as knowledge discovery in data. Earlier, the buzzword data mining was known as knowledge discovery in data. So this is a clear-cut meaning wherein which it is trying to discover some sort of patterns from the raw data. So this is the process of searching and analyzing a large batch of raw data in order to identify patterns and extract useful information. So this is a very Herculean task. However, data warehouses are used as the input sources for data mining so that the large batch of raw data, that is what we are talking about, large batch of raw data can be derived from the data warehouses, and then the interesting patterns after the analysis can be extracted in order to gather some predictions which will be useful for the organizations. So companies, most of the companies, there not only one particular company, there are several companies which are using this data mining. For example, there will be a kind of data mining software which will be like taking the inputs from the data warehouses in the form of large batch of raw data and then after analyzing, here we will be using a kind of data mining software from some reputed companies, and then whatever the interesting patterns that are there will be displayed in the form of visualization techniques. So it can help them to develop more effective marketing strategies, increasing sales and decreasing costs. So these are the major benefits that the organizations or else the business institutions will gain from the visualization or else the reports that will be given after the mining was done. So data mining relies on effective data collection, warehousing and computer processing. So without having like a cleansed or else a kind of data repository which will be helpful for the data mining, unless you have a very good repository or else the data collection inside the data warehouse, this particular thing may not be giving fruitful results as the company wishes. So the basic thing will be depending on the way the data has been collected, the way the quality of the data that is residing in the data warehouses, and then the warehousing techniques that are being followed, and also the computer processing. So these are the basic building things whenever the data mining says that it is a fruitful kind of thing. So how this data mining works? So this involves a huge Herculean process wherein which it involves exploring and analyzing large blocks of information to glean meaningful patterns and trends. Like for example, it can be used in order to test the credit risk management, fraud detection, spam filtering, like in the emails and other things, spam filtering can be done. So these are only a few or else 3 examples that are quoted over here. During this particular session, we will see there are several examples which can be drawn from various domains of the businesses. So it also has a market research tool that helps reveal the sentiment or opinions of a given group of people. So this is also one of the advantages that we'll be getting from the data mining. So let us see the whole process, how this whole data mining will be undergoing. First step is the understand the business. So before any data is touched, extracted, cleaned or analyzed, it is important to understand certain things on hand. So first of all, we have to put 3 major questions. What are the goals the company is trying to achieve by mining the data? That is the fundamental question any business company needs to put. And the second is, what is their current business situation? What are the findings of SWOT analysis? So before looking to any data, the mining process starts by understanding these particular 3 questions. So you may be having huge amounts, a large batch of data residing in the warehouses, but you have to put these particular 3 questions so that after getting the answers, you will be having a fruitful results after the mining process is done. Next is understand the data. So there are the data is been collected in the data warehouses from several sources. So some of the sources may be internal, some of the sources may be external, whatever the case may be, and some may be existing in some sort of form. So whatever the case may be, first of all, understanding the data. So what exactly you wish to gain from the data that is there, that is available. So once the business problem has been clearly defined, it's time to start thinking about the data. So this includes what are the sources those are available, how they will be secured and stored, how the information will be gathered, and what the final outcome or analysis may look like. So these are the things that we'll be doing it in the step 2. And then this step also includes the determining the limits of the data, storage, security, collection, and then the accessing of the data. Some data may be having special privileges also. So we have to see whether the data, whatever that is available, do we have the privileges also in order to mine that data. So then after looking in and understanding the data, there is a third step, which is nothing but to prepare the data itself. So data is gathered, uploaded, extracted and calculated. This particular data needs a kind of cleansing, and then standardization needs to be done, a kind of normalization needs to be done, and then assessed for mistakes and checked for reasonableness. So during this particular stage of data mining, the data may also be checked for size. An oversized collection of information may unnecessarily slow computations and analysis. So this particular preparation requires a kind of a very good understanding of the data until and understand the particular data sources and other kinds of things, the next step, that is the preparation of the data, may not be possible. So during this particular stage, we should not be thinking that more and more data may be helpful, which may be incorrect in some ways. So we have to see which particular data from the sources needs to be taken for consideration in order to get fruitful results after the mining. So that particular step requires a kind of clear-cut understanding which sources needs to be used. And then we have to, next step is building the model. So with our clean data on hand, it is time to crunch the numbers. So data scientists use the types of data mining above to search for relationships, trends, associations, or sequential patterns. So data may also be fed into predictive models to assess how previous bits of information may translate into future outcomes. So here, some of the organizations, what they are doing is they are having some sort of ready-made available packages. So they will be putting this particular package and feeding in the sources of data that are being already understood by the data scientists. Then they'll be getting the results, the results whatever they are expecting. So otherwise, what they have to do is they have to build a model upon the data that they have, and then they have to see the kind of relationships, associations, and then the trends which can be searched from the mining. The step 5 is evaluate the results. So the data-centered aspect of data mining concludes the assessing of findings of the data model. So the data is cleansed, the data is fed into the model. After that, you have to evaluate the results. The results are on, and there may be several sort of visualizations that are produced. However, you have to evaluate the results. The outcomes from the analysis may be aggregated, interpreted, and presented to decision makers that have largely been excluded from the data mining process at that particular point of time. So in this step, organizations can choose to make decisions based on the findings. So here there may be several kind of interpretations. So we have to say, like, we have to show it to the the decision makers, and then you can explain the sources of the data, what are being the sources for that particular predictions. So all these things you can discuss with the decision makers so that you can find them very interesting, and they can be very much helpful in order to assess or in order to forecast some sort of products in the due course of time. So then after predicting all the evaluating and predicting all the results, to implement the change and monitoring that particular change is the step 6. So the data mining process concludes with management taking steps in response to the findings of the analysis. So you have derived with some sort of visualizations in the form of graphs, in the form of charts, or in the form of pie charts, whatever the case may be. So the decision makers has understood all those results, those are being generated, and then you have to, in this particular step 6, they have to see necessary steps to be taken in response to the findings of the analysis. So the company may decide the information was not strong enough, or else the findings were not relevant, or else the findings are very much relevant, and then in either case, management reviews the ultimate impacts of the business and recreates the future data mining loops by identifying new business problems or opportunities. So this is a six steps complete process wherein which the whole data mining will be taking right from the taking the inputs from the data warehouses till the decision makers knowing about the results and implementing and then monitoring the change that they wish to have it in the company. Then let us see a few applications. Already we had seen 3 applications in one of the slides, and then we can see other applications also. The first applications that we can discuss is the sales application. So data mining encourages smarter, more efficient of capital to drive revenue growth. Ultimately, any business organizations will be focusing on the sales, the growth of the sales that they wish to have it in future. So the data that is abundantly available in the form of data warehouses or in the form of data repositories, those are being taken as the sources for the data mining application. And then the ultimate goal is to increase the sales, or else see that the sales growth is very much there. So consider the point of sale register at your favorite local coffee shop. For example, for every sale that coffee house collects the time of a purchase, so they will be seeing that when the coffee is being on sale, and then along with the coffee, what kind of products are bought by the customer, or else what kind of combinations are bought by the customer, using this particular information, so that the coffee shop can make available the kind of products, combination or combo kind of products which are very much interested by the customers. And then there will be a kind of application in the marketing also. Once the coffee house above knows its ideal lineup, it's time to implement the changes. However, to make its marketing efforts more effective, the store can use data mining to understand where its clients see ads, what demographics to target, where to place the digital kind of ads, where to paste the ads in the coffee shop. Like these particular marketing strategies also can be planned whenever there is a kind of predictions. Those are available after the data mining. This is the second application that one can see with the data mining. Third is the manufacturing. So for companies that produce their own goods, data mining plays an integral part, wherein which they can see how time is spent along the manufacturing process and what are the more bottlenecks negatively impacting the processes. Data mining helps ensure the flow of goods in an uninterrupted way. So some of the goods which are very much seasonized, like suppose if in summer, most of the people, they will be wearing either the linen shirts or else the cotton shirts, that too with light shirts and other kinds of things. So there should not be a kind of thing wherein which they will be focusing on hard cottons or else some sort of other materials. Instead of that, after taking the inputs from the data mining or else the predictions from the data mining, they can focus on the manufacturing of exact goods for the exact timings or seasons. So those particular things can be done using the by seeing the results of the data mining. Then the interesting application nowadays is credit card fraud detection and other kinds of frauds that are happening in and around the banks. So that the heart of the data mining is finding the patterns, trends and correlations that link data points together. So there are very much interesting applications in order to see what kind of frauds can be expected after looking into the results, and what is the time that the frauds are happening, or else which countries are mainly doing, which country citizens are mainly doing the frauds, either it may be a credit card fraud or else the bank, and what exactly are the timings, and where the hits are coming from, which country the hits are coming to the bank's servers and other kinds of these particular things can also be estimated by the data mining. Then there is another interesting application on the human resources. So human resources departments often have a wide range of data available for processing, including the data on retention, promotion, salary ranges, company benefits, use of those benefits. So there is a huge availability of these kinds of data, which people people with some sort of skills which are leaving that organizations. So these kinds of trends they can easily pick up by looking into the data that is available on hand within the company. Suppose if you think the case of a software company, during last 3 months or so which kind of skill set people are leaving the organization, or else which skill set is having a greater demand. So these, which kind of projects are arrived in during these particular last 3 months. So these particular things can be seen together, and then they can have a kind of plan on hand, so that the retention, the employee retention and other kinds of things can be looked into. So losing those many employees of the same skill set may be leading to losses also, or else they may be hampering the project delivery schedules also. So they have to see the human resources, the kind of human resources, the kind of demand of the human resources, the kind of promotions or salary, or else negotiations that needs to be done with those particular employees. All these things can be planned and checked out by the software company. Then comes the customer service. So customer satisfaction may be caused for a variety of reasons. So imagine a company that ships goods. A customer may be dissatisfied with shipping times, shipping quality or communications. So these particular things can also be improved by using the generated interesting patterns from the data mining applications. So data mining gathers operational information about customer interactions, or else they can collect the feedback, whatever the feedback that is being given by the customer, they can be analyzed and they can be taking, they can take a necessary action on those particular feedbacks given by the like customers during the shipping quality communications, or else the shipping timings, or whatever the case may be. So immediately there can be a kind of focus and there can be a chance of improvement for the customer satisfaction. Hearing all to this particular applications, there are advantages, whatever we had seen. Most of the advantages are from various domains of businesses, we can see. So coming to the bulleted advantages, the data mining drives profitability and efficiency whenever the data that is available is having a good quality and then timely availability of the data and other kinds of things. So whenever we take that particular data as the input data, and then when we work with the data mining applications, obviously the profitability and the efficiency can be seen through. It can be applied to any type of data and business problems. So we had seen altogether 7 or 8 domains. Other than that, there are several domains also. Nowadays, they are using in the social media, on the Facebook, eBay, e-commerce applications, and other kinds of things also, which we are going to see now. It can reveal hidden information and trends. Nobody can be expecting some sort of patterns which are very much generated by the data mining applications. So most of the applications, most of the data mining applications, whatever the patterns those are being generated, most probably the humans may not be anticipating such kind of information drawn from the data that is available with the organization. So coming to the disadvantages, one is the complexity. So the data that is very much complex, if at all you are trying to do some sort of analysis, obviously it is a time consuming, and sometimes it may be leading to poor results, or else sometimes it may not be giving some sort of interesting patterns or interesting trends which are not useful. So the results and benefits are not guaranteed. However, most of the company, they have to assess what kind of data that is available, how much clean data is available, or else what kind of cleaning mechanisms that one needs to take care. So all these things, almost you have to consider all these things. Until and unless you consider the quality of the data that is available, we can't see the results or the benefits which will be coming fruitful on the way. So sometimes it can be very much expensive. So we are having the historical data in the data warehouses, and we are trying to take the results or else interesting patterns from that particular data available in the data warehouse. It may be expensive, and sometimes the huge manpower also is one of the requirement. So most of the people may be working with the applications on hand. However, some people should be spared, like some data scientists should be spared in order to work with the data warehouses as well as in order to work with the data mining applications. So data mining and social media. Nowadays, we are having several sorts of social media, like the Facebook platform, WhatsApp platform, Instagram, or else Twitter, whatever the case may be. So they are having a kind of unstructured data kind of thing. So some of the interesting patterns may also be derived from the data that is available on the social media. So that data can be used to make inferences about their preferences. Some people they'll be watching, suppose if you take the case of a student, he may be watching most of the times a kind of job prospectus, or else the kind of courses that those are available with various organizations, additional courses, or else some sort of MOOC courses, online courses, and other kinds of things which are very much available. So from these particular browsing patterns on the social media, the data mining application, obviously the algorithm that is running can infer about the preferences, and it may be allowing the user to see such kind of ads on the page itself. So advertisers can target their messages to people who appear to be most likely to respond positively. So this is one of the interesting things that is happening nowadays. So data mining on social media has become a big point of contention, with several investigative reports and exposures showing just how intrusive mining users' data can be. So this particular, not only the social media, nowadays people are doing online shopping also. e-commerce applications and other kinds of things. There also you can see a kind of interesting things wherein which if a customer is very much interested in certain products, so obviously you can see the same kind of products are being displayed on the dashboards and other kinds of things, or else the ads of the same kind of products will be available on the page. So this is happening because of some sort of data mining algorithms available on the websites, and the preferences are being almost captured, and then they have been regularly posting the same kinds of things on the websites. So as the time is running short, so we will wind up the session. In this particular session, we had seen the introduction to data mining, covering the basic definition, the kinds of application that the data mining caters to, and then towards the end we had seen data mining on social media and data mining on the e-commerce industry. So with this we conclude the session. Thanks for watching.